Welcome to your Health Facts podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about iron. Iron is everywhere. I mean, it's in our bodies. It's what we use to build our houses. It's even, it even comes from the sky, like in meteorites. And you probably already know that iron is super important for us. I mean, it helps red blood cells carry oxygen throughout our bodies. It gives energy to our muscles.
Right.
You might have even felt this firsthand
Okay.
if you've ever had to take iron supplements.
Yeah,
Those can have some pretty nasty side effects.
they can.
But the good news is you can get all the iron that you need from food.
Exactly. So you'll find two types of iron in food, heme and non-heme. Heme iron is found in animal products like meat, and it's much easier for your body to absorb.
Okay.
Non-heme iron is it's found in plants, and it's a lot easier on your body, less likely to cause inflammation.
Oh, good.
Yeah. One way our bodies use iron is in a protein called myoglobin. Myoglobin delivers oxygen to your muscles and connective tissues. Sometimes after intense exercise, myoglobin levels in the blood can spike.
Oh, wow.
Usually this isn't a cause for concern, but it does kind of highlight how even vital components like myoglobin can be harmful in extremely high amounts.
That makes sense. So meat, as we all know, is a common source of iron. But it does come with some challenges, right?
Right.
Because iron is such a key component of meat, it actually makes it like a perfect breeding ground for certain bacteria.
Exactly.
Like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria. These are some of the usual suspects when it comes to foodborne illnesses.
For sure, yeah.
Especially with things like deli meats.
So that metallic taste you sometimes get with meat, that's the iron.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and to mask that, especially in processed meats, manufacturers will often add a lot of salt. This leads to a much higher sodium intake than you might realize, and I think we all know the downsides of too much sodium.
We do.
It's not good for you. Interestingly, meat production, particularly beef, has a significant environmental impact, contributing to issues like greenhouse gases and deforestation.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are some alternative iron sources? Well, oysters are incredibly rich in iron.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a catch.
There is.
They're filter feeders,
Right.
which basically makes them the trash cans of the ocean.
Pretty much, yeah.
They can accumulate bacteria and pollutants, making them, a possible risk,
Definitely.
especially for people with compromised immune systems.
Now, plant-based sources offer a much safer and more nutritious way to get your iron.
Okay.
Processed grains are often fortified with iron, which was a solution to combat historical iron deficiencies. However, this well-intentioned effort inadvertently contributed to the rise of processed food culture, which we now know has negatively impacted our overall health.
For sure. So among plant-based options, beans stand out as nutritional superstars when it comes to iron.
Yes, they do.
They actually have more iron per serving than beef.
More than beef. That's amazing.
Pretty incredible.
Preparing beans properly is key to maximizing their benefits.
Okay.
Soaking them overnight significantly reduces phytic acid, which is a compound that hinders iron absorption.
Interesting. So lentils are another fantastic source of iron.
Yes, they are.
And they have the added convenience of not needing to be soaked.
That's great.
To enhance iron absorption from any meal, a simple trick is to include vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, leafy greens, or tomatoes.
Excellent advice.
Tofu is another plant-based powerhouse, and it's a great source of iron, especially the firmer varieties.
Absolutely.
And you can easily incorporate it into your diet because it's so versatile in cooking.
It is.
To maximize iron absorption, it's best to avoid consuming calcium-rich foods or beverages that are high in tannins like tea and coffee, alongside iron-rich meals.
Right.
These substances can interfere with the absorption process.
Yes, they can. So let's dig a little deeper into this whole iron thing. Iron's a heavy metal, and it doesn't actually dissolve in water. So it has to be bound to proteins to travel in our bloodstream.
Okay.
Hemoglobin's a great example. It's found inside our red blood cells, and it carries oxygen throughout the body.
Right.
When our iron levels are low, hemoglobin production goes down.
Yeah.
And that can lead to iron deficiency anemia,
And we don't want that.
No, not at all. Another iron-binding protein is called myoglobin.
Okay.
And myoglobin delivers oxygen specifically to our muscles and connective tissues.
Okay.
Elevated myoglobin levels in the blood can often indicate muscle injury.
Oh, interesting.
But in very high amounts, it can actually be harmful to the kidneys.
I see.
So, it's all about balance.
Everything in moderation.
Exactly. So remember that metallic taste we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Well, it's especially noticeable in meat as it ages. To kind of mask that taste, especially in processed meats, salt is often added in significant amounts.
Right, yeah.
So think, pre-marinated meats, sausages, those convenient TV dinners.
Yeah.
The salt helps conceal the metallic taste of older meat, but it also contributes to a much higher sodium intake, as we were discussing.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's move on to oysters.
Okay.
They're a rich source of iron, but their nature as filter feeders makes them susceptible to accumulating bacteria and pollutants from their environment.
Right.
This presents a potential risk, especially for individuals with liver disease or weakened immunity, as their bodies may not be as efficient at fighting off infections.
It makes sense. So plant-based iron sources, they offer a safer and often a more nutritious way to get your iron.
They do, yeah.
Processed grains are fortified with iron to combat iron deficiency.
Right.
However, this has kind of unintentionally led to an over-reliance on processed foods.
Absolutely.
Which we now know negatively impacts our taste preferences, our hormonal balance, and our overall gut health.
It sure does. Beans are a fantastic source of iron.
Yeah.
They actually contain more iron per serving than beef.
Wow.
But proper preparation is crucial to optimizing that iron absorption.
Okay.
Soaking beans for several hours, preferably overnight, helps to reduce phytic acid.
Okay.
Phytic acid is a compound that hinders iron absorption.
Interesting.
Yeah, so soaking the beans really helps with that.
Lentils offer a great alternative to beans as they don't require soaking.
They are, yeah.
Enhancing iron absorption from any meal is as simple as adding vitamin C-rich foods.
Absolutely.
Like bell peppers, leafy greens, tomatoes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, those are all great choices.
Tofu is another versatile plant-based protein, and it's an excellent source of iron.
It is.
Especially the firmer varieties.
Right.
And you can easily incorporate tofu into your diet because it's so adaptable in different dishes.
Absolutely. It's very versatile.
To maximize iron absorption, it's advisable to avoid consuming calcium-rich foods like dairy products alongside iron-rich meals. These substances can interfere with iron absorption.
They can, yeah.
And it's best to consume those types of foods between meals rather than during.
Let's circle back to meat consumption for a second. Red meat, especially, has been linked to some health concerns. Studies have, shown a connection between red meat and higher risks of things like colon cancer and diabetes.
Right.
And let's not forget, red meat production is a big contributor to environmental pollution.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's definitely something to keep in mind.
We've been talking about beans as an excellent iron source.
They are.
But careful preparation is really important to get the most iron out of them.
Right.
Soaking them for a good, several hours, ideally overnight, helps to reduce that phytic acid.
It does. Yeah.
Which, we've talked about can make it harder for your body to absorb iron.
Exactly. And make sure you discard the soaking water, too.
Good tip.
That gets rid of even more of that phytic acid.
Yeah.
And cooking those beans thoroughly, that not only makes them taste better, it also makes them easier to digest, and it reduces the risk of any, harmful compounds like lectins.
Right.
Which can also mess with iron absorption. There was this, this trend in Japan a while back where people were eating raw beans to try and lose weight.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, there were some negative side effects.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, just goes to show you gotta prepare those beans right.
Definitely. So when you're trying to, boost your iron levels, it's a good idea to avoid having calcium-rich foods like dairy and drinks that are high in tannins like tea and coffee, along with those iron-rich meals.
Right.
Because those things can really get in the way of iron absorption.
They can.
Better to enjoy them between meals instead.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here today.
We have.
And, the main takeaway is you can definitely get enough iron from a wide variety of foods,
Absolutely.
both animal-based and plant-based.
Hmm.
We encourage you to try different things and see what works best for you.
And if you want to learn more about all this and other interesting health and nutrition topics, just head over to our website, yourhealthfacts.com.
Yeah, and be sure to subscribe for regular updates and all that good stuff.
We'd love to have you.